Welcome to Exercise at Home with Balanced Body. I'm Elizabeth Larkam. Grab your anti-stress spray and let's get going with a 20-minute movement sequence for your hips. Come on to all fours now. So you'll be on hands and knees, palms shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide. As you inhale, rock your weight forward towards your hands and then tuck your toes under and rock your weight back in the direction of your heels. The purpose of this is to ensure that in partial weight bearing, your femur head, the head of your femur is planted into your acetabulum. Now, shift your weight laterally, so shift over towards the left side and then shift towards the right side. In all cases, this is a neutral pelvis, neutral spine, drawing the front of your abdominals towards the back of your spine. Now, shift your weight diagonally left front and diagonally right back. Left front, right back. Twice more. The light from your chest bone goes over your left hand and then over in the direction of your right knee. Change to the other diagonal. Right front, left back. Forward right. I had my ankles confused. Left back. Forward right. Left back. Forward right. Now you make an oval, shifting your pelvis back, side front, side back. Aim your sitting bones up and back and wide. All of the abdominals, all the abdominal layers coming up toward your spine. Reverse the direction, circling your pelvis, and do your best when you go back not to default into a posterior pelvic tilt and spine flexion. Keep your sitting bones up and back and wide. So sometime from the term scouring, S-C-O-U-R-I-N-G, the head of the femur is scouring the acetabulum. Now we have a figure eight. Left front to the side, left back, right forward, side back. Left forward, side back. Right forward, side back. Left forward, side back. Right forward, side back. So that's the quadruped motion, and I'm sure it's not lost on you that this is a fair amount of course, of weight bearing through the shoulder girdle, the arms, the hands, the wrists. However, the emphasis in our case is the variety of closed chain movement for the femur head in the acetabulum. Now, for the second part, come to lie on your back. For this, you can use a yoga strap or a band or even a magic circle, and if none of those are available, a towel or your hands. I'll show first with the hands and then we'll add the magic circle. No, I won't show with the hands. We'll just go right away to holding on to something that belongs to you with a prop. Okay. Inhale to bend both knees. As you exhale, flex both feet and send your heels away from each other. Inhale to bend both knees. As you exhale, send one heel in the direction of the ceiling, the other heel across the room. Now, initially, it may be more comfortable, more reasonable for you to have your knee bent when you aim your heel towards the ceiling. What's important here is that you keep your sacrum in contact with the ground and not default to a posterior pelvic tilt and spine flexion. Inhale to bend, and what's more valuable is the position of your pelvis with respect to the ground rather than whether or not you get your knee extended. This is hip flexion and then still hip flexion but with knee extension. Now use the opposite hand from foot and draw your leg across the midline with the yoga strap or the towel around the sole of your toes, having the intention of keeping the back of your pelvis in contact with the mat. Inhaling to bend, exhaling to extend. Now change arms so you carry your lifted leg away from center, counterbalance with your opposite arm. Inhale to bend, exhale to extend, inhale to bend. When you carry across the midline, you could have the idea, the image that your little toe is coming in the direction of your opposite ear. Aim your sitting bone away from the base of your skull. Inhale to bend, exhale to extend. Inhale to bend, exhale to extend. And then when you carry your leg away from the center, you could have the idea that your big toe is aiming in the direction of your ear. Come back to the middle, bend both knees, and then change feet, change legs. Inhale to bend, exhale to slide. Inhale to bend, exhale to slide. Carry across the midline with your little toe going towards your opposite ear, holding the ring with the opposite arm from leg. And then carry your leg away from the midline. Inhale to bend, exhale to extend. Inhale to bend, exhale to extend. Come back to the center, bend both knees now, put your prop down and roll to either side and make your way up to standing. So when you come to standing, you'll have your feet about sitting bone width apart and focusing on your sacrum, the bony part of your pelvis that's in the middle of your pelvis at the back. The idea would be that you turn the sacrum to one side and then turn the sacrum to face the other side. So this is keeping your toes and your knees straight ahead. Your pelvis is turning around the head of your femurs. We have rotate, and this is a figure eight. It's a figure eight of the pelvis with the axis of the figure eight going from one greater trochanter to the other. So here's figure eights with knees extended, encouraging mobility of your hips in this orientation. Figure eight in the other direction. The soles of your big toes firmly planted, your knees aiming straight ahead, and your pelvis and lumbar spine articulating at your hip joints. Now change the figure eight to the diagonal, front and back, forward and back. The light from the front of your sacrum is still facing directly forward, and you have this diagonal of figure eight action. So now we reverse that, back around, forward around, back around, forward, back, forward, back. Now we'll take the figure eight on an axis that goes directly through the navel towards the spine. Figure eights in this orientation of motion. Reverse the direction, the figure eight's there. All the while, drawing your abdominals in and up from pubic bone up underneath your chest bone. Change to the new diagonal. Forward, back. Now this is the axis of interest. Forward and back. Forward and back. Reverse the direction, keeping your diagonal axis. And then you will note that we're back to the first axis. So we have an axis, x-axis, y-axis, and then two diagonal axes. And this constitutes a grid on which you can make a figure eight mandala. So your left side is over here, so I'm going to call out the directions for your left side, and assuming this is your left. Left around, left around, right. Diagonal left front, diagonal right back. Diagonal left front, right back. Directly forward, directly back. Forward, back. Diagonal right front, left back. Right front, left back. And then you are to the right and left and right and left. Diagonal right back, left front. I'll be right back. No, you're left front. Right back. That's the only joke I know. Okay. And then back around, forward around, away from the camera, towards the camera, left back, right front, left back, right front, and over to the side again. Now, when you keep your knees extended, there are more demands made on the smooth articulation of your hip joints in conjunction with your pelvis and lumbar spine. If you were to do all these figure eights again with your knees bent, that would involve many more degrees of freedom on more of your joints, and it's less demanding for your hip joints. But it also might be more fun. So after you make the demands on your hip joints, knock yourself out, bend your knees by your workstation and figure eight on. Now, return to your quadruped work here, and as you exhale, hover one knee shin foot off the mat and then come down. Hover the other knee shin foot off the mat. This is a rotation of your pelvis around your femur head, keeping your pelvis in neutral. Alternate lifting one knee, shin foot, and the other knee, shin foot. A reminder, this is not additional hip flexion, nor is it additional hip extension. It's keeping your femur perpendicular to the mat. Now, we will just finish this sequence with crawling. Rotate your pelvis so your knee, shin, foot lifts. Shift your weight forward to your hands. Put your knee down. Rotate your pelvis, knee, shin, foot, and bring it forward. The emphasis being on the abdominal support from the front of your abdominals to the back of your spine, and then make your way backward on the mat. Rotate, rotate, drawing your femur head up into your acetabulum. Now, having done this 20-minute sequence with a hip focus, you can be assured that not only are your hips refreshed, but that also your mind is intrigued or fascinated by the different articulations and coordinations around your hip joints. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next time on Balanced Bodies Exercise at Home. Bye now.